Hello, bonjour, hola, buongiorno, and welcome to the very first episode of Cultural Capital. I'm Alex Osborne, and over the course of this series on tta.tv, I'll be taking you on a journey to uncover some fascinating people, places, and experiences that exist right here on our multicultural doorstep that is London. Hailed by David Cameron as probably the most diverse city in the world following the 2012 Olympics, one of London's greatest strengths is undoubtedly its international cultural dynamism. More than 100 different languages are spoken in virtually every borough of London, making it a richly cultured city. But how is it possible to meet these diverse communities in the midst of the 9-to-5, increasing workloads and daily rush hour commute? Well, passionate for all things languages and travel, I've been to several Meetup groups recently. This is the world's largest network of local groups. Founded in 2002 and with over 15 million members worldwide, its mission is to bring people together locally through real-world, face-to-face gatherings. There are meetups in over 45,000 cities in 196 countries, and there's a meetup for just about anything, from linguists to artists, dancers to dog lovers, and from entrepreneurs to language and travel fanatics. Of the 142,000 meetup groups, my guest today is an organiser of just one of them. World in London was founded by Ed Hewitt, and Ed joins me now in the studio. Ed, thank you for joining me. So tell me about World in London. What exactly is it?
So World in London is all about helping Londoners discover unique experiences from around the world in their own city. So travel the world without leaving London, if you like. Mm-hmm. And I got the idea just over a year ago when I was preparing to go on a huge overland journey from Asia back to the UK. And to prepare for that, I decided I'd go travelling around my own city. And that turned out to be an absolutely amazing experience, perhaps rivaling anything that I did over the course of the next year. So I used a website called Couchsurfing where I stayed with different people in London, and I stayed with 11 different people from 8 different nationalities over the course of a month, and that just opened my eyes to this amazing world which is just on our doorstep. And for me, that is something which, although we have fantastic experiences when we go overseas, we can also have those right here in London.
Brilliant. Well, it's a relatively new meetup, founded on the 10th of March this year. How many members have you currently got?
So in the meetup, we've got just over a couple of hundred people. So that's still relatively small. We've got a few multiples of that on our mailing list. So it's growing all the time, and we've run a few events, and hoping to grow much more in the next few months.
And I understand your very first event was called India on Your Doorstep, and that featured a walking tasting tour of Southall, led by an award-winning Indian food writer. And I went to it myself. Can you just tell us how it went?
Well, the experience was really well received by all. Well, certainly they told me that it was. So it involved going around various food shops, different other Indian stores, and 2 temples, one Hindu temple, one Sikh temple, with a fantastic guide. So Manisha is she's a chef, she's a historian, she's a university lecturer, she's a fantastic range of skills, and she really gave us an incredible insight into not only India but also the Indian community that is in London, and made that really accessible for us all.
Brilliant. And you also ran an event called Burma Underground recently to celebrate the Burmese New Year Water Festival. Let's take a look. It's such a unique concept, which I'm sure most people had never experienced something like it in their lives before. How did it go?
Well, again, that was a great success in terms of the numbers of people that we had. It was quite fantastic. We did it for 5 nights and over 30 people there each night. The event involved a 5-course meal, involved some Burmese breakdancing, and it was all done on this disused underground carriage. And it was more of a kind of party type experience. So some of the things that we do are more cultural, some of them are more just about having a good time, and that one was a real example of having a good time in a really unusual, different setting.
So tell me what you've got in store for the future.
Well, the immediate thing is we're doing a World Cup theme. So the idea is that you can go and watch the World Cup with fans from every nation competing, and there's an amazing opportunity to do that in London. So we've got Brazilian experiences, Colombian experiences, and Spanish experiences, where you can go with a host from those countries and watch the football, eat some great food, drink some drinks with the real fans from that particular nation.
Amazing. And how do you make these experiences authentic, though, when they are really thousands of miles away from the respective country?
Yeah, well, they are thousands of miles away, but the people are here. So I think that if you got the right host, if you got the right location, say in a you can do a lot of things in great restaurants, for example. There are little pockets of different countries in London which do really have that authentic feel. And also I think there's a really interesting synergy between stuff which is a culture from thousands of miles away and then what's going on in London. And together, that is something really interesting and unique, I think.
I'd agree. And so you say on your website that the world has already come to London. Why do you think the city works so well as a host of these cultural experiences?
Well, first of all, I mean, there's just an amazing amount of diversity in London. It's almost, I think, almost 1 in 2 people in London are non-British born now, which I see as an incredible opportunity to go and experience all these different cultures which are here on our doorstep, and having those all together in one place is a opportunity like no other, I think.
It can't be missed. What's your ultimate aim for World in London?
Well, the vision is actually that World in London is more than just a company that runs experiences, but it's actually a movement. So I want people to experience and get in the mindset of looking on their own doorstep first and finding what's there to discover, and especially from around the world on your own doorstep. And I want World in to be more than just London. I want to have World in New York, World in Berlin, World in Melbourne, all with this idea of make the most of your own city and really embrace all the fantastic cultural opportunities that are right here next to you.
Well, watch this space. Why is it important, finally, for Londoners to embrace these multicultural experiences?
Well, we all live together in this city, and I think it's really interesting for people to understand what it is that makes people from other cultures tick, what it is about their culture, and by celebrating these with fantastic events and experiences, we can not only teach each other about each other's cultures, but we can have a damn good time whilst we're doing it as well.
Well, you heard it here first. Ed, thanks ever so much for coming in today. So that's Ed Hewitt, the founder and organiser of World in London. And if you'd like to get involved and experience World in London for yourself, you can find full details on the World in London and Meetup websites. You can also go to Ed's dedicated Facebook page or follow it on Twitter. That's @WorldInLon. Well, thank you for watching this first episode of Cultural Capital. I hope this inspires you to embrace the rich diversity on our doorstep in London. And in my next episode, I'll be taking a look at all things French as we explore what the city offers for those from across the Channel. Do join me for that if you can. Until then, hasta pronto and ciao for now.